The origins of politeness. On the 25th of February, 2 days after escape of the former Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych, a large ship Nikolai Filchenkov appeared in Sevastopol Bay. The first green men were on its board. On the 27th of February, 120 armed men seized the building of Council of Ministers and the Supreme Council of Crimea in Simferopol. They helped to appoint a new government headed by Sergei Aksyonov. At the same time, armed groups have taken over checkpoints on the isthmus of Perikop and the Chonhar Peninsula. So Crimea became impossible to get to by land. The air was also closed. Dozens of military trucks blockaded the airport in Sevastopol. After this, any coup scenario could be implemented. This way, Russian Spring came to Ukrainian Crimea at the end of February.
Вводить войска – это полная ерунда, ничего подобного нет и быть не может.
Вы украинцы?
Мы?
Да.
Мы россияне.
Это были российские солдаты или нет?
Это были местные силы самообороны.
Kremlin had been planning the annexation for a long time. Vladimir Putin has started to speak about the affiliation of the peninsula since the early years of his presidency. Crimean operation began immediately after the revolution in Ukraine. The first step was anti-Ukrainian propaganda.
Propaganda influenced Crimeans heavily. Because of it, I quarreled with my mother. We had a real rift in the family. She told me very different stories about Kiev, about what was going there. I know that it was a lie, that she had learned on television. Now I can't be in Crimea. People are very aggressive towards Ukrainian patriots.
Aksyonov announced a referendum. Its date was postponed 3 times. The so-called referendum was held on the 16th of March with violations and almost totally victorious outcome.
Thanks to you and your support, thanks to Russia, we won today. Start the fireworks.
Next day, the Supreme Council of Crimea proclaimed independence. Putin supported this and threw 15 billion rubles of assistance to the peninsula's government.
After a long grilling voyage, Crimean Sevastopol returned to his native harbor.
At the beginning of the occupation, many Crimeans really enjoyed the peninsula joining Russia. They thought pensions and public sector salaries were twice bigger in Russia and soldiers' salary 4 times bigger.
We have been waiting for this for 23 years.
We have been waiting for this 23 years. I think Crimeans have put a lot of effort for this, and we are extremely happy.
Another part of Crimeans did not find anything better than to move to the mainland Ukraine. This is more than 20,000 refugees. Those patriots who wanted to stay at home faced the problem of citizenship. Russian laws and decisions of local self-proclaimed Peninsula Authority create conditions that force everyone to get Russian passports.
If you lose the passport of Ukraine citizen in Crimea, you can't leave Peninsula in fact. In this case, you can only restore the Ukrainian passport on the mainland. As a result, you stay without any identity document.
A good part of Crimean people is forced to live with 2 passports. The main thing in this case is to keep it a secret. In total, Russian passports in Crimea were given to more than 500,000 citizens.
Only a small number of people applied for renunciation of Russian citizenship. Some such applications are not examined, and the other forced to receive Russian passport.
Searches, arrests, disappearances and dispersal of peaceful demonstrations. All that is possible today in Crimea. Now residents of the peninsula are learning to live without freedom of speech and expression. During the annexation of Crimea, at least 7 people went missing for their political views, according to International Human Rights Organization. The leader of Crimean Tatars, Mustafa Dzhemilev, said there are at least 18 missing. However, this year in Crimea, Moscow introduces a quota for a residence permit for foreigners. It is about 5,000 people, plus those who refused Russian passports. Who doesn't fit into this limit will live on the principle of 90 days on the peninsula, 180 beyond. Dzhemilev asks to protect the rights of Crimean Tatar people, so far in vain.
9 months have passed and no law to protect the rights of the Crimean Tatars in Crimea and Ukrainian patriots has been accepted. People need this law in order not to think that Ukraine forget patriots.
Many Crimean patriots are tired to fight for Ukrainian peninsula. It's clear why. Indecisive actions of the government, transfer blockade, light blackouts and gas, add to the list MasterCard and Visa not working, water running out in storage and also disastrous tourist season.
I think everyone has had enough. On this basis, there were quarrels and crying at night, and I didn't sleep well. I don't want to talk or think about politics anymore.
Ruble collapsed because of Crimea. Whose is it now? Even the most patriotic Crimeans ask this question. However, Kremlin illusions dissolve rapidly. Yulia Khromova, UTI News.